Hi everybody, I welcome you to this online course Excel from beginners to advanced. Today's session will be about how to create table in MS Excel and how to do this formatting activities using Excel. So I am opening a blank worksheet and I tell you how to start creating a table and entering your data. So normally those who are already working in Excel, what they do is they assume that this workspace is considered to be a page and they start typing from this cell or this cell somewhere from here, assuming that they are keeping the text on the center of the page, but that is not true. So whenever you start creating a table or any data in this Excel sheet, you start from the very first cell. You start with the A1 cell. From there you proceed in preparing your table and creating your data. I tell you how to align the table after creating it, right? So any table, when it is created, it will have a serial number. So first column ID what I give is serial number. After serial number, okay, let me create a database for students, right? So this will be name of the student, then the class in which he is admitted, their parent name, their parent contact number, parent name, their contact number, then anything else whatever we want that can be given in the column heading based on our requirement. So this way you can start giving the heading for your table. So but here what is confusing is we are not able to visually clear the text that is available in each of the cells. So in the previous session I told you that you can expand this column width, whereby you can able to clearly view the content whatever is available in that cell. So I am doing that. Yes, so here I have created a small table for maintaining a student database. So apart from this there will be many things like personal email ID, blood group, then address of the student and many things, many more. Even the score of the student will be there, right? So here for time saving purpose we will limit this particular details. So for entering the serial number, yesterday I told you simply type first two numbers, select the two numbers and drag it till the number of candidates you want to enter. So once you decide the number of candidates to be entered, you just release the mouse. That will help you to give a continuous number. Then you start typing the name one by one. Ravi, Rajesh, Shankar, or whatever it may be. So this way you can enter the data one by one. So the moment you press enter key on your keyboard, that takes you to the next cell, next below cell, right? For example, I am typing it as Raja. After typing Raja, if I click on the enter key, the cursor will be moving on to the next cell. So this way you can keep trying and entering your data. Then I am moving on to the next area. So I am giving it as for example LKG, UKG, first standard, second standard, third standard, and likewise I am giving the class detail of the student. Then parent name. So whatever may be the parent name that we can enter here. Then the contact number of parent and whatever detail we have that can be included in this table. So this way we will start preparing a table in MS Excel. So one thing I want to make you to understand is Excel is for data maintenance and data analysis. This is not for saving any text documents. So all sort of technical analysis, statistical analysis can be done in Excel. So Excel is a powerful tool where you can do any type of calculations, from simple addition to even for research purpose we can use this Excel tool. right? So this way we start preparing a table and entering the table. So by pressing Ctrl plus yes, we can save the button, save the work what we have created. Okay, now I tell you how to do this editing work in Excel table, right? For that I have created a table. I am going to use this table for showing you how to do the alignment and all other formatting work for this table. Okay, so here this table is having 20 entries, and with some name, gender, education, date of birth, day scholar or hosteler, blood group, and their marks scored in the particular class. Okay, so here I tell you what are the things you need to do while going to prepare and print a table, right? So let us look into this. When you are making any printout, let us see how this table will look like. Okay, so for that I am going to this print preview. So this icon is for print preview. So when I click on this, I can able to see how my document will be get printed, right? So this is how my document will be printed when I am giving a printout, right? So this doesn't look good, right? Here serial number, I do not know where the column is starting, where the column is ending, so a lot of confusions are there. I do not know what is this numbers also. So what we can do is, instead of printing the table like this, we can give a border to our table, and we can give more visual appealing to our table, right? I tell you, look at this name of the students. Some students name are in small letter, some students name are in capital letter, some students name are in first letter alone capital, and likewise we have different types of entries, right? So to have it as a uniform entry, we will convert this into either first letter alone capital or all the letters into capital, right? So when you look at the data in the other field, all the data were in bold letters, capital letters. So if the name of the candidate is in bold letter or capital letter, it will be looking good, right? So there are three ways to convert one text in a cell, either to capital letter, or from capital letter to small letter, or first letter alone capital. So that cannot be done directly here. So we are trying to convert these texts into capital letters. So that work cannot be done directly into this cell. So instead of that, I can convert these texts into another cell, and from there I can copy it and paste it here. Okay, to convert this small letters into capital letter, the key what is available is, I tell you, I will convert this capital letters into this cell, right? So to convert small letter into capital letter in Excel, we go with a function called upper. When you type UPP, you can see that formula getting appear. You can double click on it, or you can simply type UPPER and open a bracket, and inside this bracket that tells you what text to be converted into upper, right? So that for that I need to select this. Selecting this means just clicking on it. The moment I click on it, the cell address where I clicked, that will be displayed here. After that, we need to close the bracket, right? So whenever you try to insert any function here it means formula, into an Excel sheet, that should start with an equal to symbol. So when you start with an equal to symbol, system automatically recognizes that the user is trying to input a formula, right? So without equal to symbol, if you try inserting a formula, the formula will not work. You will see the text whatever you have inputted there, right? So now I press enter. What happens is, so the small letters which is available in this column, that are converted into capital letters, right? So to do for remaining things, what we can do is, I need not type the formula one by one. That takes more time for me to do that. So instead of that, I can copy that formula and paste it in the remaining cells, right? So copying and pasting can be done in two ways. Either I can use this Control plus C for copying, and I can paste it in the remaining cells. So pasting in the remaining cells means selecting the cells. Selecting the cell, we can do like this. Either we can use this keyboard. In keyboard we can use this shift key and down arrow key, or if you are comfortable in using this mouse, you can simply click on this cell, right? From there you start dragging it, the cells whatever you are dragging on, that will get selected. Then you click on Control plus V, the formula or text whatever we have in that copied cell, that will be pasted to the remaining cells. So this way you can convert small letter into capital letter. Then one more thing that is available is converting all this capital letter into small letters. Okay, so converting all capital letter into small letter is, the function is, right, equal to lower, equal to lower. So the moment you type lower and open a bracket, that asks you for the text. So I am going to convert all this capital letter into small letter. So I am selecting only the first cell. You need not select all the cells. Then close the bracket. Press enter. What you can see is all the capital letters are converted into small letters. Right. Now I do not want all capital letters or all small letters. I want only the first letters to be capital. For that, I am using a formula called proper. Proper. Open a bracket, then select the text, close the bracket, press enter. What happens will be, only the first letter of the word will be getting converted into capital letter. So you may be wondering how this have happened. I am doing it once again. Simply copy this and paste it in the remaining cells, or what you do is keep the cursor on here, go to this black color box, we call it as a fill handle, drag this fill handle till the last candidaate. That will give you the first letters in capital letter. All other remaining things will be in small letters. It is not necessary that you have to convert to capital letter, then small letter, then we come to first letter on capital letter, right? Even you can do it for any characters. Straight away we can do converting the text into first letter on capital, right? So this way you can convert all your text into a unique way, either fully capital letter or fully small letter or first letter alone capital. So the formula is upper for converting into capital letters, lower for converting into small letters, and proper for converting into first letter alone capital letter. Okay, so after doing this, I can copy this cell and I can replace these text. Okay, now coming to the replacement, if I simply go there and use Control V, when I use Control V, you just see what happened. All the text was converted into like a hash reference, right? So this is where we find it difficult to do this, right? So whenever you are trying to copy a cell with any formula and you are trying to paste it in another area, we can go with either with pasting the values alone, or if you want the formula to be pasted over there, you can click paste formulas, right? So here we are not going to use any formula, just we have used the formula to convert the capital letter into small letter, right? So we need to bring all the characters here as it is to the second column. So copy the text, go here. Here we have an option called paste special. So how to go to paste special? Either right clicking on the mouse, you can go to paste special, or in this area, in this top left area, you can have this paste symbol. in this area you can see a small drop down. Click on the drop down, you will get these type of options. So in this type of options you select values, select values. So that will paste you only the value. It do not consider the formula or anything. Whatever is visible here, that will be pasted here. So this you can do it for even values. Okay, the next thing I tell you. Okay, so look at this alignment of content in the cell. All the text were aligned in the left side of each column, right? So when I zoom it, you can easily understand how this is aligned, right? Yes, so look at this, all the text in each cell has been aligned in this area, right? Top left corner. So in the top left corner we have the system have aligned the data, but we do not want the content to be at the top left of the cell. We expect this to be in the okay, I do not want this cells to be aligned on the top left. I need this content of the cells to be in the middle of the cell. So for that, what I can do is I can simply select my table. On my home menu. There are options called like this, alignment. So this area is specially for alignment. So especially these 6 icons will help you to align the text wherever you want into the cell. So I am selecting this, so keep on the cursor there, that will tell you what alignment you are going to make there. So I am going to select the center option. See what happened, all the contents which are aligned in the left, that is being taken to the center of the cell. But still what I can find is the text are in the upper side of the cells. So to bring the content to the middle of the cell, I can go with this particular option, middle alignment. So the moment I click on middle alignment, you see what is happening, all the text were aligned into the center of the cell. So this way you can align the text into your table. Then coming to the formatting option, we need the table to be in uniform font size and font style. So let me tell you how to change the font style, font color and font size. So for any formatting activity, we need to select the table first, select the text first, then we can modify as per our requirement. So this area will tell you about the font style. So font style, there are many font style available like this. So when you click on this drop down arrow, you can see many font style. You can choose any one according to your taste. But normally when you are preparing any official report, we can go with either Times New Roman or Arial. That will be giving you a clear visibility about the product, the text what we are going to prepare, right? So by default it will be Calibri. You can change it to Times New Roman or Arial. So I will change it to Times New Roman. So keep the font size as 12. So 12 font size will be very normal, where any person, irrespective of their vision, they can be easy to read the text, right? So now what happened, I have applied Times New Roman font style and 12 size as my font size. So I need to give color for my text. How to do that? Here in this area you can see this A underlined with a color. So when you keep cursor on that, that will tell you what is that option. So here that shows that it is font color. So I am clicking on it. I am clicking on the drop down where you can see many predefined colors. Either I can choose any one from among this, or I can go with this more option where I will be given with even more options. So all these are predefined colors. If you are not able to find any of your desired color, Then you can go with this custom color where you can design about your own color. So the moment you drag the cursor on here, you can see the colors getting changed here. Once you get the desired color, then you can click on OK. Once you click OK, the text color will be converted to the selected colors. So this way you can change the font color. So for any printout purpose, if we are keeping this in black color, and that black color will be much visible when you make a printout. Okay, so here look at this: serial number and name, gender, education. All these text are in bold, but these two are in normal font, right? So we need to know what is this font style, what is this font color, and what is the font size. We do not bother about what are these types, right? So simply what you can do is, instead of knowing what is this cell style, color and size, here we have an option called Format Painter. Format Painter will help you to copy one format which is available in the selected cell, and we can apply that format in another cell. Let me tell you how it is. So here in this cell, for example, the text are highlighted in bold appearance, and I am applying a background color. Applying a background color is this option. You can apply any background colors. By default it will be white. Leave it as it is. If you want to highlight something, you can select any of this color. I am applying a yellow color, right? I do not know how this yellow color came or what is the size of this content in the cell, so I need not worry about it. Simply use this Format Painter. Once you click on that Format Painter, this particular cell will be getting selected. Then what I can do is, I can paste it wherever I want. The moment I click on it, whatever may be the font style or font color or background color appeared in this cell, that will be applied to this cell also. So, right, if you want to paste it for multiple cells, you need not copy each and every time, right? So moment you click on another cell, that copy will removed, right? So if you want to paste it to many cells, simply you double click on this painter where you can apply it wherever you want. So this way you can use a Format Painter option in Excel to apply a particular font style, font color and font background. Okay, so now we have done some alignment and formatting work with the table. Now let us look how our printout will look like. So I am going to print preview and waiting for the preview. Yes. So what happened is, I can able to see some sort of distance between the text in each column and each row. Okay, but the outer border, that is missing, right? So we need to draw a border for all the cells, I mean for all the table. To draw border for all the cells, what you have to do is, we need to select the table first. Then you can see an option here. This area, this option will help you to draw borders onto your tables. So click on the drop down item where you can see all borders. When you click on borders, that will apply border for all the text or all the cells in your table. Now when you go to this print preview option, see what happened? A clear table is being ready. And again, what is missing here is, we have many pages it seems, right? Very good. In the first page we are able to see the column headings, but in the second page we are not able to see that column headings. So what people will do is, I tell you, they copy this first row and they search for this grid lines. So this grid lines will tell you that that is the end of the page. So what they do is, they keep and paste it here. This way they used to paste it and they will go for the print preview. Now if they go for the second page, they can see the first column first row getting displayed. But that is not the right way. If you do this, what happens will be, when you are entering any line here, then again you need to reshuffle it. When your number of pages are very high, that you cannot do it repeatedly. So what we can do is, we have an option in Excel, we use that option. Okay, I tell you how to use that option. Go to page layout menu. There you can see a print titles icon. Print titles. Click on that icon, you get a dialog box. So this dialog box will tell you, will give you many options, right? So here you have this option, rows to repeat at top, and another option is columns to repeat at left. Rows to repeat at top means whichever row you want to repeat in all the pages. So here we need to repeat this first row in all the pages, right? So that cell or column, row has to be selected. So keep the cursor here, keep the cursor in this place, then move on to this blue color box, click on it and select the row which you want to display in all the pages. So I need to select this particular row. So you have a black color arrow mark, so click on that black color arrow mark on the first row. You can see dotted lines moving around. That means that that particular row is going to be displayed in all the pages. Alright, now again, so you see that the dialog box is getting minimized, so expand it. Alright, now go to print preview. From here itself you can go to print preview. So this is the option to go directly to print preview. So clicking on print preview, right, we have reached the print preview page. So when we move on to this page number 2, you can see the title is being repeated. So the moment you go on to the third page, fourth page, fifth page, you can see the title is getting repeated. So you need not copy paste the title at the beginning of all the pages. So this way you can reduce your time of doing the works, right? So here we have another option called columns to repeat at left. So this option you can use it when we have multiple columns in a table, right? I tell you. So our table is a very lengthy table, so that doesn't fits into one page, so it goes beyond this page. Okay, so this dotted line denotes the end of the page. So but our table is not included, covered in this first page, that goes beyond this page. So when it goes beyond this page, when we make a printout, we will not be able to find out which line is related to which candidate, right? So for that purpose, we can either repeat this serial number or repeat this name of the candidate. So when you do that, automatically when the table size expands to next page, the first row or first column, whatever we want to repeat, that will be repeated in our printout, but that will be available only in the printout, not anywhere else. We cannot see visibly in this work area. Okay, right. So here this S1, S2, S3, S4 all denotes the subject names. Instead of typing subject names, we have subject code and we have typed the subject code here. Now we are interested in knowing about the total mark scored by this Arun. So to know the total marks scored by the Arun, I tell you how to add numbers in Excel. If you have many numbers to be added, normally what people will do is, they will put an equal to symbol, they select cells one by one by adding a plus mark in between the cells. This is how many people will do this. Finally they will reach out the total marks. But instead of doing that, what we can do is, we have an option called sum. Especially we have an option called auto sum. Auto sum is available in home menu, especially in this area. So this area is for auto sum. When you click auto sum, what happens is a formula will be inserted and the cells left to that cell will be getting selected, right? So from wherever you click this auto sum, either the cells which are having values on the left side or in the above cells, that will be considered for auto sum, right? Auto sum option, that will give you many options, not only adding the numbers, but also it will help you to identify which is the maximum value, which is the lowest value, what is the average, how many numbers are here. Everything you can do it from auto sum option. So here I give the title as total. So total is the value what we did here. So instead of total, I want okay. So this auto sum option will also give you many possible options, right? So click on this drop down, that will give you many options like this: average, count numbers, maximum, minimum, and more functions. We need to print the average marks scored by the individual in this examination. So to do that, either I can go here and click on this average. What happens will be the average of these numbers will be displayed here. So be careful in using this function. Reason is we need to take average from the subjects alone. We do not consider the total marks. So to exclude this total marks, simply remove this N2 and name it as M2. So that means that the blue color highlighted cells only will be considered for average, right? Either you can go with this average function, or instead of that you can go like this. We know how many subjects are here. So here we have 6 subjects. So we know the total also. So what we can do is we can divide this number by 6. We can divide the total by number of subjects. That will also give you the average value. Or if you do not have the idea of using auto sum activity, you can go with typing the formula, right? Equal to average. Either you can select it from this option or you can type it as it is, whichever is comfortable for you. Average, then you need to select the numbers, which number you want to average. Select the number from first subject to last subject, close the bracket, press enter. You will get the average mark scored by the student, right? Now I need to know what is the maximum mark, I mean highest mark scored by this candidate, and what is the lowest mark scored by the candidate. Okay, highest mark, and this will be the lowest mark. I tell you how to do that. So for identifying the highest mark, we have the function called max, maximum of these numbers, maximum of these numbers. So the highest value in the given data range is 90. So 90 is displayed here. So to know the lowest one, we give the option called minimum, min, that's enough, right? Minimum of these numbers, minimum of these numbers will be 76. So the 76 is the lowest mark and 90 is the highest mark scored by this candidate. So we need to apply all these functions to all the candidates, right? Okay, so to do that, you need not do it repeatedly or individually. Simply what you do is select all these 4 cells, go to this fill handle, double click on that, things will be get done. Okay, when you come to this average, the value what is displayed is not equal. one cell it is having 1 decimal, another cell having 2 decimal, 3 decimal, and likewise. We need to have a uniform decimals, right? So to give uniform decimals, what you need to do is either we can keep it as 1 decimal or 2 decimal. Okay, so to add 1 decimal or to decrease 1 decimal, first we need to do is select the cell where you want to add 1 decimal or remove 1 decimal. Here is the place called a number option. This number option, you can have this area. This area will tell you about increasing the decimal and decreasing the decimal. So keep the cursor on this icon, that will tell you what option it is, increase decimal. Okay, so click on it. The moment you click on it, you can see the values getting changed there. So when you proceed with that, you can see the decimals getting increased by 1 points. But here we are going to have only 1 decimal, so we are stopping with 1 decimal. So this way you can either reduce the decimals or increase the decimals for any given number. Then another problem what we face while working with the table in Excel is the date format. The date format that will not be unique throughout the data sets. Okay, right. Whenever you are trying to give input as a date, before inputting the date, what I suggest you is change this style, format, number format into date format, and then start entering your date, right? So to do that, for example, I am inserting a date here. So the general format of any cell will be general. Here you can see that general. So click on the drop down icon. There you can see many options like general, number, currency, accounting, short date, long date, time, percentage, fraction, and many more, right? So we need to select either short date or long date. First we go with the short date. Short date means that this type of date we call it as short date. This type of date we call it as short date. Long date means this will be the long date. Okay, here the date format is not applicable. Let me tell you how to do that. For example, I am giving a date like this, right? One more thing I tell you, while entering the date in any cell, use this format. Use this style of date entry format, right? So don't use slash or dot, go with hyphen, then you start typing your date. So the moment, see, you can see the difference, right? When I click on other cell, when I look on this number format, that shows me as general, right? But when you use this particular style, that automatically converts into date, right? So by this way we can start entering the date into our text date cell, right? So what happened, you see, the moment I enter data, a date into this format, the system automatically recognized it as date format. Okay, so it is always preferable to use hyphen while entering the data, right? Okay, so now I think our table is getting ready, got ready. Okay, one thing is missing here is the margin or the border for this particular newly added things. Okay, so now we can use this format painting option to do that. Okay, so we are going to apply this format of alignment to these cells also. So how to do that? I am going to select this, any of these cells, selecting this format option. Now I need not click one by one. I need not click one by one. Simply if I am clicking on this column heading, clicking on that column heading will apply the text or format whatever I have applied. Okay, so that way you can reduce your time of doing things. Okay, here what happened is, since I clicked on the heading, the alignment, this borders, everything is applied to the empty cells also. So to remove that, I can use this Control Z option. Then I can select this format painter, and I can select like this also. I can apply format painter like this also. So once again, what happened here in this cell, we have a 3-digit alignment, so that's why we got a 3-digit number here. So now we can again reduce the size. That's it. This way you can do it. So I need to give bold appearance to my text. Ready? That's it. Very simple. Okay, now let us go to the print preview option. Yes, see what happened. Okay, so we have included total, average, highest and lowest mark, right? But lowest is missing here, right? So how to bring that lowest into this particular page? Either I can adjust the margin. How to adjust the margin is, here in the right side bottom of this page, you can see this show margins option. So once you click on the show margin option, on the all 4 sides of my page, I can see margins. Either by adjusting this margins, I can get my data into one page. Okay. See, when I am moving the cursor onto the margin on the right side or left side, I can see new columns getting inserted, right? Right. Now what I can see is, I can see all my columns into this page. Okay. If in case, if you have number of columns on your data, it will not be possible for you to bring it, adjust it one by one and bring it into your one page, right? For that, what you can do is, first thing, you need to check about the page size. What is your page size? So how to check that page size and page layout? We have an option called page layout. So go to that page layout. There you can see this orientation. Orientation gives you 2 options. One is portrait orientation, another one landscape orientation. So landscape orientation will accommodate more number of columns. Portrait orientation will give you only less space to accommodate data. Then next thing will be the size of the page. Size of the page, by default you will be getting a letter. You can change it to A4 or A3 or whatever size you want, you can change it. Or even if you want to customize the size of the page, you can go to more page options. So here you can get more page option and you can define as per your requirement. So this is related with the page size, legal size, letter, executive size, A5 size, A3 and many more. Okay, so this option will help you to identify the margin whatever is applied to your current sheet. Okay. Okay, so let me tell you another thing also. So here in this column, you know, we have characters like hostelers, day scholar. If we reduce the column width, even 2 more columns we can include here, right? So when we reduce the column width, what happens is the text is getting hidden. So to bring out all the text into this visible area, we have an option called text wrapping. In home menu, we have this option called wrap text. So select the text whatever you want to wrap. Wrap means bringing all the content of the cell into one visible area, right? So the moment I click on wrap text, you just see the difference. So here some text are hidden and here some text are hidden. So click on this wrap text, you can see the hidden contents here. So this way you can use wrap text option in Excel. Okay, right. So in the previous sessions we were discussing about how to insert a row, how to insert a column, or delete a row or delete a column. So there is no need to repeat once again, I think so. Okay. So this is all about how you can prepare your table in MS Excel and how you can apply format to your table. Right. Now what I do is, for your better understanding, I am copying this 3 column and pasting it in multiple places. Right. Now you can see very clearly that this is my page limit. My page boundary ends here. Even beyond this page limit I have some columns. While I am making a printout, I do not want these 4 columns to be printed separately. I want all these columns into one particular page. So what we can do is, this can be done in 2 methods. One thing is, either we can go to this view option. In view menu you have this option called page break view. Page break view, right? So the moment you click on page break view, you can see very visibly a blue color line, right? A blue color line which highlights that there is a break in the page, right? So what I can do is, by keeping the cursor on that blue color line, you just see the change what is happening. You can see a double-headed arrow. Simply drag this double-headed arrow to the end or wherever you want to drop. Now you are able to bring out all the columns into one page, right? Even if you want to reduce this, you can do this. If you want to extend it, you can extend it. So this is how you can use this page break view to either to expand your page size or to reduce your page size. So now when you go to the print preview, you can see the table, everything will be included in the first page, but thing is that you are not able to get a clear image. The font size or table size is not visible to read for the audience. So what we can do is, we will go with the increasing the visibility of the text. How to do that? Go to print properties. Go to print properties. Okay, so here it is not working. Okay, let me tell you the other method. Okay, right. So in this page, in page layout menu, you have the option to increase the visibility of the table. So here the scale size is 56. So always it should be 100. When it is 100, the problem here is you will not be will not be possible for us to include the remaining 4 columns. I tell you how to bring that 4 column into your first page. Okay, so we will go back to the print preview menu, right? So we need additional columns to be included in our first page. So here you have the option. So in the latest versions of your Office package, you can see these options in your print preview menu, right? So in the last menu, you can see no scaling. Click on that no scaling, you can get many options. So read that option: no scaling, fit sheet on one page, fit all columns on one page, fit all rows in one page, right? So the meaning is self-explanatory, right? Fit all columns on one page. So I have data on my right side, so I need to include the data into this sheet. So I'm going with this option, fit all columns in one page. So the moment I click on that, what happens will be all the columns will be included into this particular page, right? So this way you can include all your column into one single page, right? There is another option, fit sheet on one page. Click on it, that will give you like this, fit sheet on one page. So you can also improve the increase the size of this appearance, right? As I told you, you can go to page layout. From here you can do this. Okay, right. Okay, so this way you can either include additional rows or additional columns into your table. Okay, other than these, let me tell you what are these options. Okay, so this icon is for giving bold appearance to your text. This gives you italic appearance. You just see, when I click on it, the content will be just slanting towards your right. Then this option will be giving you the underline, and this option we have seen, right? Okay, so here we have two A's, one little bit bigger A and another one small a. This denotes that we can increase the font style, font size of the selected cell, increasing the font size of the selected cell. So this bigger A, that increases the font size. You just see, the moment I click on it, the font size increases by 2 points, right? Here it is 22. If I want to reduce this font size, I can use this small a. You just see, the font size decreases by 2 points. So this way I can either increase or decrease my font size. So this area we have already discussed. So this option will be related to alignment of text into the column. You just see what happens. The alignment of the text will be like this when you go to use this option. Inverted one, this one, you see, this way, and you can also put it like this. The direction of text can be changed by using this particular option. Okay. Okay. This text wrapping option, yes, I told you, to make visible all the content into this cell. Merge and center. Okay, right. Merge and center, it is for merging two cells. I want to merge these two cells and convert into one cell. So for that, I need to select the cells. It is not necessary to be two cells. Even you can select many cells as you want. But thing is that all the cells should be very near to each other. You cannot select a cell, one cell from here and another cell from here. All nearby cells can be selected and it can be merged into one cell. So the moment we click on merge and center, you get a message, a warning message saying that merging cells keeps the upper left value and discards other value. Meaning is that only this content DOB alone will be kept in that cell. Other things will be removed away. Okay, let me tell you how it is. I have selected these cells and clicked on this option. If I say OK, only DOB will be in the merged cell. You see, right? So this way you can merge two or more cells into one cell. Okay, I am undoing this. Okay, so merging cell is available here. So this is also having many other menus like a merge and center, merge across, merge cells, unmerge cells, likewise. Okay, right. Now I tell you what is the use of this particular area. So this particular area, I told you, increasing the decimals and reducing the decimal. This option is to decide on the type of content that is available in the cells. So general means nothing like specific, either a text or a number, both can be entered. Number means we can restrict the entry of data. Currency means, for example, here for example we assume that this is the average salary of individual. If you want to insert the currency symbol before this value, then you can use this option. So that will give you many options. The first option will be our Indian currency. So if you click on Indian currency, the Indian currency symbol will be inserted. If you want to insert any other country's currency, select the value first and then go here you can see many countries currency value, currency symbol. You can apply that particular currency symbol. Keep it in mind, we are not going to change the value of currency, simply we are adding the currency symbol alone. So this way you can include a currency symbol before any value which denotes the money value of a particular item. Then we have conditional formattings and all these things. This we will be discussing in the later sessions. When it comes, we will be discussing. Okay. The next thing I tell you, how to create a chart. Right. Here I have a table. Here I have two tables. I tell you how to create simple tables. Okay. So to draw or create a chart, we need to select the data first, and data should be like in this format. If you have data in this format, it will be easy for the system to draw the chart whatever you want. Okay. So for drawing chart for this gender and this count, what we need to do is, we need not select the entire table. Simply what you do is select this values alone. Header of this column, and value of this particular sets. After selecting this data range, we call this as a data range. Go to insert menu. There you can see this area which has lot of chart options. Okay. Here I am trying to create a pie chart. So pie chart option is this. So in pie chart you have many varieties. So you can choose any one variety as per you want. Let me select this 3D pie chart. Okay, 3D pie chart is inserted. Now I tell you how to work on this charts. Right. So here we have two colors, blue color and maroon color. We do not know what this blue color denotes and what this green, brown or maroon color denotes. We need to highlight what this area and what this area is. Right. How to do that? Yes. So this count, this is the heading of the chart. If you want a heading of this chart, you can double click on that text and you can give a heading. For example, I am giving like gender of the participants. Okay. This way I can give a heading for my chart. If I don't want this, I can remove it. Simply select it and press delete button. Things will be moving away. Right. So those who are using MS Office latest version, or at least 2013 or 16 version, they can see the chart like this. Along with that, 3 options. Right. Now I need to know what is this color denoting and what is this color denoting, and what is the value of this color and what is the value of this color. So we have a legend below this chart. So that legend tells me that this brown color is male and blue color is female. Okay. So by looking into the system, I can able to identify what is that. When I make a printout, that to a black and white printout, it will not be possible for me to know what is that area. So what I want to do is, I need to bring this category name here and the value of that particular category. So to do that, I need to click on this plus button. So that plus button will give you many options. There I am going to select this legend. That will give you where that legend has to be displayed. I tell you one by one. Okay. Chart title. Where do you want this chart title? You just keep the cursor over there. That shows you where that title will appear, right? Like this, and you have many more options like this, right? To display what this particular area is, I am going to this data labels, right? So click on this data label icon. There you can see all these options where you want to keep it. Okay. So the moment we click on it, what happened? We got the number of count of this particular category, right? Very good. When you go to this more option, you get all these type of functions. So in this functions you can select this category name, right? Once you tick on this category name, you just look into this chart. The category name of the category is displayed here, right? Very good. So here near to this category name, we can see the count of that category. If you don't want the count of the category, what you can do is you can go with percentage of that particular category. So to go to that particular category, go to format label option. There you can see percentage. Instead of value, you deselect value and click on this percentage. So that will show you what percentage of your population is male and what percentage of population is female. So this way you can format or edit your chart whatever you want, right? This is a basic chart. We call this as pie chart. I tell you how to create another chart. So here we have another table with education and count. So select the table data first, then go to insert menu, then I am going to select a bar chart, right? So in bar chart we have different types of bar chart: 2D column chart, 3D column chart, 2D bar chart, 3D bar chart, and likewise. So I am selecting 3D column chart. So a column chart is inserted to me. Either I can keep this title or remove this title. Okay. Now the bar chart is displayed here, and each bar represents the value which is available here. To display what is this bar value, either we have to keep the cursor on that bar. If we are using a system, then you can keep the cursor on that bar and you can know what is the value of that particular bar. Instead, if you want to make it visible to all, then what you can do is simply right click on any bar, there you can see data labels option. There you get add data labels. The moment you click on it, data label, that is value of each bar, will be displayed. Now you can see all the bars in same color. If you want to give different color, then select each bar separately, and go to this format data point, where you can see these three options. So go to this first option, fill. You say that what color you want to fill, either orange or blue or something. You can change that particular color of each bar. So this way, either you can change the color or the pattern of this particular chart. So these options will show you many appearance to your chart, you see. So this way you can edit or format or change color or size of your bar, charts, right? If I want to make it enlarged, what I can do is, normally people will do this, pulling the right side edge or left side edge and pulling the upper end and lower end. That takes some time, right? So instead of that, what you can do is keep the cursor in this bottom right area. You can see a double-headed arrow, right? Click on that and drag it. Either you can extend it or you can expand it, right? So as per your requirement, you can expand the chart or you can reduce the chart. If you want these lines to be appearing, leave it. If you don't want to see these lines, click on any of this line. Either you can click on this delete button, or you can simply right click on your chart and you can go to this format black wall, where you can remove whatever you don't want. Okay, so the simple method will be click on any of this line, okay. So right click on this chart anywhere. You can see an option called format grid lines. Yes, click on this format grid lines and click no lines. When you click no lines, all that grid lines will be moved away, only the bar will be displayed to you. So this way you can either modify your chart, or you can give colors, size and whatever you want. If you do not want this particular layout, you can go to this format or design option, where you can select these type of charts also, right? You see, these types of format is also available. You can select any of this charts. So this way you can create simple tables in Excel, and you can modify it as per your willingness, right? The same way you can create bar chart, line chart, histogram, scatter chart, 3D map charts and many more, right? So creating a chart depends upon the requirement of your data and the character of your data. Scatter chart cannot be drawn, drawn for this type of data, right? A line chart cannot be drawn for this. That doesn't gives you meaning for understanding. Okay, so this way we can create table and create charts in our Excel, right? So for more activities related to table creation and chart creation, we will do it in next session. So for this session, let me attach this particular data sheet and table. You download it and practice it on your own, and if you have any clarification, you just note me, and during our live discussions we will clarify all those things. Happy learning.